If you follow this channel long enough, you might know that I have autism and ADHD. Today, I am going to talk about whether my life as an autistic person is better abroad or better in Japan. Little disclaimer though, I have spent most of my life in Japan, so the school life I haven't experienced in Europe. I only know the school life in Japan. So this experience that I'm going to share with you is going to be entirely based on living abroad as an adult, autistic adult. So this is going to be different if you're Czech, if you're European, you might disagree with me entirely. Firstly, school life. I was discriminated against a lot in school, back in school. I was always the weird kid because I had autism, which I didn't know at the time that I had. And being different, especially in a country such as Japan, where it reinforces collectivism, which just means you've just been the same person as everyone else. You're expected to act the same, sound the same, think the same. You know, in such an homogeneous country, I had a very difficult time. I was particularly good at English and art. So when someone is good at some subjects, you basically will be a target for bullying. So I got uh, sometimes thrown into the ground by like four people for dues in a basketball club I belonged to, and it was an awful experience. I had my back thrown out on the street, even if I told them not to do so, and just because my English grade was better than the average, people just used to pick on me, and it was a very rough experience. So after years of being traumatized by the peers, I developed trust issues. I couldn't let anyone go near me for a long, long time. And particularly at university, I was very emotionally unstable. I was comparing myself with other people all the time. I was in a band club. I was comparing my singing skill to other people constantly. I was comparing myself with other people who had partners, which I hadn't. And apparently, people with autism like me have delayed development, and particularly in mental state. So I feel like I was more insecure and more unstable, emotionally unstable than my peers. And I couldn't date anyone because I was just a walking turn off for girls. Just being unstable, insecure, it was a turn off for most girls. So although when I was 13 or 14, I can't remember exactly how old I was, my parents told me as I was complaining, oh, I didn't have a girlfriend. They told me, oh, you'll find someone at university. Most people do. So I believed them, but I didn't find anyone, or nobody wanted to date me. So I was like, you're lying to me again. This is going to be the same for most things, but lots of things that our parents, so I'm Gen Z, so our parents would tell us are going to be different from their experience. If someone says, oh, you're gonna have a child, or you're gonna have a house, you're gonna have a car at around age of 30 or something, that's not realistic for a Gen Z to have those achievements. my parents' generation or your parents' generation probably haven't updated their thinking, ways of thinking. They might still think, oh, you know, because I could do it at the age of 30, my kids will be able to, naturally. And speaking of walking turn off for girls, my lack of facial expressions apparently scared many girls in Japan. So in Japan, it's like a typical Asian culture that you're supposed to smile, you're supposed to look like you're having fun, even if you're not, to conform the others. You know, that's the biggest struggle for me. Still, it's biggest struggle for me. And I was not doing it, obviously, because I have autism, and I still do have autism, and I still have hard time smiling when I'm not happy. And as someone who values authenticity and sincerity over some fake smile, I'm not fan of just smiling when I'm not happy. So I think that really makes my life easier now living in Czechia, because I think this country doesn't reinforce that type of fake smiling, conforming. I might be wrong because I've only lived here for 6 months, but my impression is like people seemed honest here, more honest than in Japan. I could go on like talking about how fake Japanese people can be, but like basically, if I were to just summarize what Japanese people or like they're like they always say like nice things. They always say something that's pleasing to to your ears, you know. And most of the time they don't mean any of those. So that's why anyone who's visiting Japan, particularly from Europe, they find Japanese people very nice. Yes, they are nice to your face, but they're not really nice inside. I think most people I've met in Japan, they're like not genuinely nice. They're just trying to look nice because they don't want to be hated. They don't want to create an awkward atmosphere. And I think the only genuinely nice person I've met in Japan, in as a Japanese person, is my dad. He's actually he doesn't say like, oh, I'm not actually nice, or he doesn't say things that suggest that he's not genuinely nice. He is actually really nice. Okay, he means it when he says, "Oh, I wish I could help them." He really does. He really does want to help others when he says that. So it's very rare for me, at least from my experience, to see someone who's genuinely nice, like my dad. So if you're looking to marry a Japanese person, marry someone like my dad, is my advice. You need to really see that the person is being honest and authentic. And they exist. Some Japanese people, some Japanese are actually nice and honest, honestly nice. So I suggest you train your observation skills, see red flags, find someone like that. See, I'm not entirely anti Japan. I just value some of the things that Japan has to offer, and one of them being my dad. So back to Czechia being very authentic from my point of view, because they have the Slavic face. If they're not happy, they just don't look happy. If they're happy, they look happy. And I really appreciate that actually, because for an autistic person's view, it's very hard to tell, and it's even like even if I know that someone's being like ingenuine, even if I know it, that really takes up my energy, mental energy, because I keep worrying about the other person being, I don't know, actually hating on me or disliking me. Another thing I've noticed, this is not limited to Europe, but I heard it's same in the States. But your resume or like some work culture is completely preferable to me in the West. So resume, I mentioned, you have to have a proper format, right? You actually have to buy a format for the resume in Japan, and you have to write down exactly how everyone else writes it. If you're like someone who's not creative, someone who just rather go on and just someone who's comfortable with instructions, I think that's perfect because you don't have to think well anything. You just have to follow the format. But for someone like me who likes to just create my own thing, that's really suffocating for me. And then also the suit and tie culture that's ingrained in Japan that kills me. As someone who has autism is we have sensory issues, don't we? So suit and tie are very very uncomfortable. Okay, just tie is very uncomfortable. Even the suit jacket can sometimes be very tight. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the same for girls, although girls don't have to wear ties specifically. But I think there are some discomfort in wearing a suit, and you have to freaking wear that suit and tie in like 40 degrees Celsius summer with humidity over like 80%. Yes, the jacket will be like thinner, but it looks really, it is uncomfortable, first of all. And you have to wear the leather shoes, which obviously I don't wear them anymore. I only wear like vegan leather shoes. But it was like really, really uncomfortable throughout the year. And you have to look in a particular way, which I'm going to talk about as well, the sensory issues as well. But you always have to shave your facial hair if you're a man, even if you're a girl, probably you have to shave your facial hair to even look presentable. And I think you have to have a particular haircut as well if you're job hunting. So probably my hair is too long and too unprofessional. So I would have to go to a barber, just look clean and stuff. I don't like that, you know? I don't. I really don't. I keep telling you this, but like I'm not a fan of this homogeneous culture that Japan has. It kills the characteristics, it kills creativity, and it's not fun. No, I could go on my school life as well, but like I just want to focus on how life is better as an autistic person in Europe. And if you're from Europe and if you're autistic and if you are living in Asia, your experience might be the opposite of mine. Because apparently, the people with autism or ADHD even just do better, tend to be happier outside of their country. So you might disagree with the points that I've given you. But like as an autistic person from Japan, living in Europe, life in Europe is much, much easier and better. Although there are some downsides, obviously. And also, like, as a vegan, it's easier. Everything, it's like almost every cosmetics I buy, I can just find them easily and very cheaply. Whereas in Japan, you have to order online, which is so annoying. you know, and just even food. I can just find any food at the supermarket, vegan food, whereas in Japan it's kind of an hassle to find vegan food. So that's a huge thing for me too. Also, if you're autistic, you might relate to this, but in Japan, we have a culture to wash our hair every single night. Okay? You have to take a bath. You have to take a shower every single night. I mean, you don't have to, but it's kind of something that we do. We don't take showers in the morning, it's always at night, and we do that every night. Okay? If you're autistic, you know how uncomfortable showers are. You know, it is comfortable. It always has been uncomfortable. And I never really liked the idea of washing my hair every single night because like I think that's too often when you do it every night. And if you just tell Japanese people that, oh, I only wash my hair like every other day, even if you look or if you smell nice, Japanese people are gonna be judgmental towards you. It's like you don't have showers every night. I'm like, yeah, I don't. If I don't have to, I mean, my parents have that mindset, right? Because they're typical Japanese, and if I don't take showers at night, they used to tell me to just have a shower, right? But now these days, they're okay with me not taking showers every night. But like, it just some kind of pet peeve for me. This peer pressure. Oh, Japan is like full of peer pressure. No, I in the last video I talked about the healthcare system on how you have to just go to the clinic, you have to go see a doctor when you have a common cold in Japan immediately. It's one of those things that I can't really stand, like the peer pressure. So you can't be uh, eating something on the train. You can't really do anything on the train other than just stare at your phone. You know, something like that. Just, you know, these small, tiny things really accumulate, you know. Yes, Japan is a very safe country. It's one of the safest countries in the world, you know. But like these small pet peeves that I had to face just lowered my life satisfaction level. And I know some of you are gonna say, well, the grass is greener on the other side. But as a person who spent most of my life in Japan, I can tell you that Japan is not my country. Okay? More than once have I been convinced that I was born in the wrong country. The only thing I like about being Japanese is the passport, and also the, you know, being able to understand Japanese or speak Japanese fluently, because there's a high demand for Japanese language, and apparently Japan is one of the most popular countries in Asia, so that automatically makes me a popular person. So I appreciate those things, but like other than that, I had more bad experiences, especially amongst Japanese people. Uh, as an autistic person, they don't welcome me. If you put, for instance, you have autism on your dating profile, for instance, in Japan, that just becomes an automatic turn off because having disorder is like frowned upon. Japan is, guess what? It's a very conservative country. So even towards people with this disorder, just like me, the neurological disorder, it was difficult. It was difficult for me living, and it still is. When I went back in November, I didn't like the country. I stayed there for 1 week, but I didn't like it. You know, it's just how bad it is for me. It's not for everyone. I'm not discouraging anyone, but I'm just being honest. It's just my anecdote. It's just me being honest. So you can, if you haven't been to Japan, just visit Japan, live there for a while, and it might be your paradise. It might be your hell. You never know. Okay? But just as a person, if you're like me, if you've seen similarities in me, you're if you feel like you're similar to me, then you probably won't like Japan very much. That's just my guess. In conclusion, am I happier in Europe? I am. Much, much happier. Am I going to live in Europe for a long time? Hopefully indefinitely, because that's my life is easier, obviously. Do you think it has something to do with autism? Yes, I do. There are many things that an autistic person can't stand in Japan. Here, I think I can manage a lot better. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time.